All right, folks, it is that time again. Thank you all for being here. Zach, thank you for being here, trying to pass your first prop firm challenge. That's amazing. I love prop firms. I remember my first prop firm challenge. I signed up for FTMO. I went through their demo account, just killed it. Got the actual account that I paid for, and instantly started trading like nuts, doing the exact opposite of what I was supposed to do. I learned a lot about myself through my first prop firm challenge. None of it was good. Hello, Trade Travel Pray. So today, I want to, as usual, go through the normal trading procedure, but also I want to focus. I'm trying to focus each day on one of the strategies to give you a little more detail because I do recognize that I kind of blow through them quickly. But before we get started, as always, let's start with the verse of the day. And I love this from Ecclesiastes. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And I think the main takeaway from that in our trading is that there is a trading style for any person out there, regardless of how much time you have to trade. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose. I love that. Zach says, I'm struggling a bit. They're just breaking all my rules, but the Lord and I are working that out. Yes, I referenced in the book a conversation that I had with God one day that I did not enjoy. Reminds me of that line from Captain America with Tommy Lee Jones talking to Captain Carter or Agent Carter. The two of you will work that out, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself. Some of it might not be what you expected. I learned and had no idea that this was going to be my main problem. During the entire process of growing as a trader and finding the root cause of all of these voices in my head telling me to click buttons and just trade on tilt, I thought it would be fear or whatnot, greed. Turns out it was pride. I did not realize that pride was the root of my control. Control is a pride issue. Anyway, all right, let's dive into today's routine. So we've read our verse of the day. That's always important. I would also highly recommend read the Proverbs of the day. There's 31 books in Proverbs, chapters, and there's 30 to 31 days in a calendar in a month. So also after I do that, I look at the economic calendar because I trade Forex and these kind of things do affect it. Today, by the way, we had some unemployment numbers that I did not care about as a swing trader. But if I was a day trader and the U.S. employment numbers came out better than expected, I can only imagine that would have had some effect on U.S. futures, on the market, anything like that, down on the 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, maybe even the 1-hour chart. Looking at tomorrow, nothing that I need to worry about as a swing trader, but if you are a day trader, the pound, the Bank of England has some GDP numbers out, and then I think on Friday we got some CPI out for us as well. All right, so let's run through the today I'm going to focus on Forest, which is the one that I'm teaching my 22-year-old, the IT department, because Forest is the easiest one to explain. So Zach asked, do I prefer Forex over everything else? If so, why? Yes, I do. Part of the reason I trade Forex now, Zach, is because I'm a Baptist and we don't like change. And it's just sort of, I've been doing it long enough that to do anything else would require me to change. And who likes change? But I originally got into Forex because of my daily schedule. I thought I really can't. I wanted to day trade because that's what everyone wants to do when they get started. They want to day trade, and I just my job would not allow me to day trade in the mornings. So I thought, okay, but I've got the evenings. What can I do then? Well, the Forex market is open and active in the evening, so let me switch to that. Also, I was struggling a bit with let's call it morality of buying a stock in a company that might be doing something that I didn't want them to. Yep, that's what I'm here for. Thank you for being here. I would object to. Let's say, for instance, that I had a loved one who died of lung cancer. Would I want to be owning stock in Philip Morris, even as a day trader? I mean, excuse me, I forgot to hit the quiet button on my phone. Let me do that real quick. So I switched over to Forex because Forex, you don't have to worry about the morality of an individual company because it's just one company. Forex is just that kiosk in the airport where you walk up to it and you stick dollar bills into it and it spits out British pounds, or you stick pounds into it and it spits out euros. That's all Forex is. Texas Navy, and I'm thinking that evening trading might work better. Here's the thing. And the folks who are, hey, Isaac has joined us. The folks that I teach are looking for discipline. They're looking for consistency. And I tell them that I have found that the shortest path to discipline and consistency, I say the simplest path to discipline and consistency goes through trading Forex on the daily chart, because it sort of forces you to be patient. And it's just a little easier. There's 15,000 stocks. There's 28 Forex pairs. But look, trading is trading. Once you learn how to develop a plan and execute that plan with discipline, you can trade anything. It all depends on what time you have to give the market. If you've only got an hour, well, when is that hour? You know, the New York Stock Exchange is open for, what is it, 7.5 hours a day, somewhere in that neighborhood. Forex and futures are open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and crypto never sleeps. So a lot of that is dependent on you. Matter of fact, tonight, if anybody's interested, tonight inside our Godly Trading, our free Godly Trading Facebook group, Wednesday nights I go live and deliver what's going to be the video of the week for the YouTube channel. Tonight we're talking about how to create your trade plan using God's own creation process. So if you want to join us, you can see here, Godly Trading Community. It's just facebook.com/group/Godly Trading. It's free to join. I'll be in there for free. I'm not charging anything because the only purpose that I'm in this is to have an audience to talk to. But one of the key elements of a trade plan is that it has to fit your life. Don't ever try to, and I've done this before. Remember the story about me allegedly driving down the road with a laptop trying to day trade at 70 miles an hour? Allegedly. Don't do that. Don't try to shoehorn your life into your trading. Find a spot. What time? Oh, fantastic. That would have been an important thing for me to mention. 6 p.m. Central. At 7 p.m. We have a live, one of our membership Zoom meetings. But 6 p.m. in the Facebook group live, definitely less than an hour, because at 7, I got to go over to Zoom and talk about options we're talking about tonight. Anyway, trade plan is critical because it helps keep you focused and helps keep trading in its place. This is one of the reasons that I like to demonstrate that I can do all of my trading in half an hour. I'm a swing trader. Could I day trade? Sure, but I don't want to. To everything, there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. So Ecclesiastes says. This is my season of swing trading. This is my purpose for trading, is to allow me to make money on the side as I'm doing other things. I just love this verse. I mean, there aren't very many verses that I don't love, but anyway, I love this one. All right, let's dive into, Isaac said, I'm in a swing right now. Fantastic. I wish there was some way I could show you the comments coming in on Instagram, but I can't because I don't have a producer here with me. So let's dive into, first and foremost, let me show you the day trading that I do, which is algorithmically. I have a trading robot that trades for me. I was in a trade yesterday. This is the forest strategy that I'm going to be going into a little bit more in a minute. But this trade's just gold. And there's reasons for that. We'll go over tonight a little bit in the live stream. God called gold good. The eighth time God called something good, it was gold. So I think every Christian should trade gold. But anyway, I got into it yesterday. I don't remember how much I got out of it. I got $250, $300 because I hit my first take profit and I hit the trailing stop. Well, that's fine. You can say, oh, well, look at that. It could have gone further. Yeah, it could have, but I don't care. I didn't have to do anything other than nothing because it took it automatically. This money just sort of rolled into my account. And then today we did not have a signal, so it didn't do anything. All right, jumping over to Bob. Bob is having a tough month. Bob was having a great beginning of the month. And this is one of those crazy things. I have found that Bob works best before like the 10th of the month. And so should I stop trading? I've gone back and forth on that. Should I stop trading at a certain point in the month? Because my return chart shows that it sort of peaks for the month somewhere around the 8th, 9th, 10th of the month. and then slides off and then works its way back up towards the end of the month. So anyway, I did mention yesterday we had a stop out on pound yen. I said I thought the euro yen would follow suit, and it did. Had a stop out on those. Currently, we're only in euro pound, and it's not really moving much. I think I'm in a tracking trade. Yeah, Kiwi Swiss. I'm in that trade tracking it. So let's just real quickly go through these, the Bob trades here. Nothing on Aussie yen, Aussie Kiwi. Sadly, this is a tracking trade. I missed, remember we talked about the fact that I missed this one because I was in a hurry. So this is what happens if you don't stop and take time and shut out the world. I like to comment that when I swing trade, I stop the world and get off and focus on it. Well, on this day, what day was this? This was February the 3rd. I don't know what day of the week that was. Must not have been a Monday. On February the 3rd, I was in a hurry, and I did not see this entry. Had I seen this entry, I would have made my first take profit, and I would be up at like 2.5 R right now. I'm not going to cry about it, but I am going to track this for part of being a trader is journaling, not just journaling how things went, but journaling how things went in here, not just journaling how things went over here on the chart. So following that one, Aussie US, nothing to do there. Swiss yen, nothing to do there. Euro pound, we are in. Euro yen, we were in, and then we're out. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I like to keep a nice clean chart. It just makes everything flow better. Simplicity, simplify everything that you're doing, even if it is simplifying what you're seeing on the chart. Pound Aussie, we were in it. We got stopped out on a trailing stop, and then it has moved on another 4 or 5 R since then. Pound Swiss. Oh, okay. I was in Pound Swiss yesterday. We had our trailing stop. Excuse me. We hit our break even. So whenever I hit my first take profit, I automatically move my stop loss to break even plus a little to pay for swap fees and commissions. In the case of pound yen, I don't believe it did that. Yeah, I still lost. I still had a negative $5 basically, even though it was a 5 pip profit because of the swap fee on going short pound Swiss. You can't see my screen. This is why I need my producer. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you very much. Trade, travel, eat, pray, love. Aussie yen, nothing to do there. Aussie Kiwi, as you can see up here, oh my goodness, how much am I regretting not having entered that trade? Because I would be up here right now having gotten in there. It happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. Give yourself a little grace. Make sure it doesn't happen again. Aussie US, nothing to do there. Swiss yen, nothing to do there. Euro pound, we're in, kind of going sideways. Euro yen, stopped out. Pound Aussie was in it, and then it has moved on significantly more. So we ended up getting about 230 pips. And currently it is that whole trade has run 862 pips. So we got a quarter of what we could have gotten. It's okay. It's okay. Honestly, I don't even think about it until I see this chart. Pound Swiss, we were in it, hit our first take profit, and then bounced back and hit our stop loss, our break-even stop loss, whatever break-even means to you. Pound yen. All right, here's the interesting one. Pound yen has moved a lot. So as you can see, we are now below. Let me clean up my chart. We are now below the. Oh, I gotta get moving. Sorry about that, guys. We're below the baseline. So this means we can go short. We can only go short. And we have confirmation from our main indicator down here that yes, it is time to go short. Now, before we do anything else, because it's the very first new direction, what platform do I use for Forex? My preference is MT5. We are Americans, or at least I'm an American. Zach, you said you were in the Navy. You didn't say whose Navy. You could be in the Australian Navy for all I know. But if you are an American, MT5 is a fantastic platform that you're not going to have a whole lot of access to because the government. After that, my favorite platform is TradingView. Actually, my favorite platform is TradingView, but MT5 is more powerful. So let us see if the first time I have any new trend, I have to confirm that first move with volume, and there's plenty of volume. All right, so you see this here. It was gray, now it's red. So this says, yes, You can, yes, Trigger Artist. I'm jealous that you can use use MT5. Very jealous. So get rid of that. So we can go short here if we wanted to. Next step. Has it moved too far already? That's what this white line is for. Almost, but no. So that's not. Last thing to check. Remember, I've got a few components in the system and then a few rules. You want a simple system. All right, last one. Let me turn on the weekly supply and demand zone tool, see where those things are, and we're coming into it. And then go back down. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. This is a setup, right? This says I can go short. I'm below my baseline. Yes, it works. My main indicator says to confirm to go short. Yes, have plenty of volume, as evidenced by the massive movement. However, I have something in the way. I never, ever, ever want any roadblocks. Zach says, U.S. Navy. I don't know the Hoya, whatever blue and gold things. Otherwise, I would say it. But anyway, thank you. I don't want everyone to have anything in the way between my entry and my first take profit. I want clear sailing between entry and first take profit. I do not have that here. I cannot get to my first take profit before I hit this zone, which is only 34 pips away. So nice setup, but if I can't check every box, I'm doing it in my head because I've done it so long, but I actually do have a PDF that has these check boxes on. I think there's a YouTube video I've got from last year, 2 years ago, and embedded in that video is a link to the PDF file. But in my head, I'm going check, 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 check. But if you can't check all the boxes, then it's not a 100% compliant trade, and you're not trading your plan. So trade your plan, get out of your own way, repeat. So I cannot take this trade, and I will not take this trade. Could price continue to just fall? Yes, absolutely could. What's the probability? Well, the probability says it's probably going to do something when it hits here. Maybe it comes down and slides sideways and falls. Maybe it comes down and bounces back up again. Maybe it comes down and just punches right through it. All I know is that based on back testing of this, I'm not doing it. Absolutely. Over on Instagram, Isaac says, trade your plan, plan your trade. Benjamin Franklin said, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. And the voice of my generation, Colonel John Hannibal Smith said, I love it when a plan comes together. And nobody here is going to know who I'm talking about. Monday nights, Hannibal Smith, I love it when a plan comes together. If someone out there knows that reference, you're going to make my day. Anyway, moving on. Kiwi Swiss, we're in this trade, tracking purposes, and then Kiwi Yen, there's nothing to do there. All right, we are done with that. Now, let me real quick run through Frank. This is the one that everyone kind of likes, which is understandable because it's so easy to understand. Right now, we are in a good many trades. We're in Euro Kiwi. Let me alphabetize these things. All right, Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss. Where am I at? Aussie CAD, we're in it, and we're 3/4 of the way up there. Aussie Swiss, we triggered on this. Oh my goodness. Look at Aussie Swiss go. This is one of the reasons I like Frank, because it waits for confirmation. These are buy stop orders. By the way, no one has gotten the reference. It's the A team, people. Hannibal, BA, Murdoch, Face. I'm so old. No one in here knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, moving on. One of the reasons I like the Frank strategy is that they're buy stop orders. So you're getting confirmation. You don't get triggered unless price goes in the direction you want it to go in. That's one of the reasons I love it. What did I say? Aussie Swiss, Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi. Let me take a look at those. Euro Aussie. In that one. Oh, also about 3/4 of the way. Euro Kiwi, which triggered today. That one is a little bit negative, but not much. And then lastly is Kiwi CAD. Oh, I'm sorry. Not lastly. Kiwi CAD and Kiwi US. I got a lot of these trades happening right now. I'm probably maxed out on risk. Kiwi CAD. Yep. Kiwi Swiss. Yep. Kiwi Yen has not triggered. Actually, Kiwi Yen will not trigger. See how it's already moved past. This is good to show you. It's already moved past my stop loss and moved. So that trade has officially expired. So I'm going to go over here to find that order, Kiwi Yen, and kill it. because that trade has expired. It's not coming back. It's an ACB trade. Ain't coming back. An Australian told me that in American English. And then Kiwi US triggered today. So we'll get rid of that little note. And so, yeah, Frank's got a lot going on right now. And as far as a prop firm, we're going to talk about prop firms in our Zoom call in about 2 weeks. As far as prop firms are concerned, I'm at 10,622. So I am 3/4 of the way to where I need to go to pass this challenge here. Still at an 80% win rate, 16 wins, 4 losses out of 20 trades. You think, oh, that's amazing. It's just 20 trades, all right? Don't get all excited until I've got 100 trades. Trigger asked about gold. I'll take a look quickly at that. Hang on, let me clear up my screens here. Gold, I'm not in gold in a daily chart. Would I get in gold right now? Yeah, I probably would set a I would probably, if I was just trading this based on price action, I would set a buy stop order at today's high. If we get triggered, we're going up to here. If not, we're falling down to here. That's what I would look at. Supply and demand zones would show, yeah, we just punched through an overhead supply zone. People have asked me about these indicators. I can't give them away for free because to respect the people that are in our paid membership community. It's not a lot, but still, I want to respect them. But a lot of them, I just ChatGPT made for me. So you can do it yourself. You can recreate these things. All right. Moving on to Forest, the strategy I wanted to talk about. So right now we were just in 2 trades, CAD Swiss and Euro US. CAD Swiss. So how did I get in this trade? So here's what Forest does. Forest is simply 2 moving averages. It is a slow and a fast. And you can define slow and fast however you want to define slow and fast. In this case, I think it's a 9-period linear weighted and a 30-period exponential moving average. So when the fast is above the slow, it's a long. When the fast is below the slow, it's a short. And because I'm old and like quick reference guides, this little bar at the bottom just shows which direction that is. So when it's red, that means the fast is under. And when it's green, it means the fast is over. Now, what I do, one extra level, because I love confirmation. I love it when 2 things based on different math are saying the same thing. I've added a 200-period whole moving average. So we got a linear weighted, an exponential, and a whole. Don't get bogged down. Those are just details. I want them to say the same thing at the same time. So in this case, CAD Swiss, my first things first, the 2 moving averages, the fast and the slow, have to agree with the incredibly slow, in which case they were red and it was red. So I can only go short. I'm not a counter trend trader. I'm a trend trader. Now, what I want is confirmation that the trend is continuing. Well, by definition, what is a trend? Oh, I'm running out of time, guys. I'm so sorry. A trend is a series of higher highs and higher lows. For an uptrend, a downtrend is a series of lower lows and lower highs. So this dot just shows the lowest low in the last 50 bars. You can set that 50 to be 40 or 100 or 2. This blue dot shows the highest high in the last 50 bars. So when these things cross and everything's going down and I get a red dot, that means, hey, we have now put in, the trend is down and we have continued our downward momentum because we now have a lower low. So don't just look at indicators when you're building. Don't just look at them and take them at face value. Think about what they are saying, what the logic is behind them. So practically speaking, this is why I can teach this to my 22-year-old who doesn't know anything about Forex. I say, look, when you get a new red dot, look for red here, and then enter at the blue. That's all he has to know. You enter at the blue, your exit for profit is back here where the red was, and your stop loss is up here. I mean, you can put your stop loss wherever you want it. Pure strategy is you put it up here where the blue dot was. That's it. It's just simply a trend following strategy where you get in on a pullback. And the pullback is defined as touching the 30. So you can see we got the new red dot. Everything was saying go short. The entry was up here at the 30. Jerry Shillman says, been following for 2 months now, and I really appreciate the content as a minister of the gospel in this space. It's really refreshing. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate someone who's a minister of the gospel giving me positive affirmation. You wouldn't believe the number of preachers and Christians who come in here and say, literally, I had this comment before, Jesus would flip over your money changing table. Anyway, that's between them and God. I am not God. So we're slightly positive here. And the thing about this strategy, as opposed to Frank, is you are getting in on a pullback, which means you're buying things on sale. Which means that you're waiting. You got to wait for that momentum, that negative direction momentum, to die out and then turn. So in this case, right, price was moving down and then it moved up again and triggered me. Well, now I want price to stop moving up and head back down again. Well, momentum is going to carry it past my entry, more than likely. So this strategy, you go negative almost immediately for a while. You just got to understand that, but you got plenty of room. So this one is, you can see we're up slightly, and Euro US, we are up also more or less slightly. Again, how did I get this entry? We were negative, right? Both the Hull and the fast and slow, both the fast and slow and the really slow said short, and then suddenly they all flipped to long. So at this point, I'm waiting on, I've got my direction long. By the way, clarity, we're talking about clarity tonight. That is the first question you have to answer. Do I go long or short? You want clarity on that. So the clarity here is only go long. All right, I know that direction. Now, what's my trigger to start watching it? I get a blue dot. Hey, the uptrend has put in a new high. So as soon as I see a blue dot, I put an entry at the 30. And then the next day, the moving average moves. So I've got to adjust that entry. So it's one of the reasons why I sort of guesstimate somewhere between the fast and slow to get some wiggle move. Because I do not trade this every day. I trade 15-minute chart automated. I trade the daily chart from 2 or 3 strategies every day. And I trade this daily trading chart every 2 or 3 days. I go in here and adjust things. So blue dot, no pullback. Blue dot, no pullback. Blue dot, finally got a pullback on entry right here. So get that entry. My take profits up here where the blue dot was, and my stop loss is down here where this low was. And that's the entire strategy. It is so dead simple. That's why I've got them as Forrest Gump and Frankenstein. They're dead and simple. And I think that's it. I've got to show you guys my option strategy, my wheel strategy, but I am out of time. Does anybody have any questions before I head out of here? Look and see, just so you know, I've got all of these. Post your questions if you've got them while I'm showing you this. I have, I think they're yellow. So here is a pending order, and you can see everything's staying negative. And right now, this is one I need to adjust, right? Because ideally, the entry is going to be here, and your stop loss your profit's going to be here, and now your stop loss has to be adjusted back up again. So I've got to make that adjustment way over on the broker. Pound Aussie, same situation. I need to move my entry down. I need to keep my stop loss where it was. I need to move my take profit down. So I've got some work to do. What made you get into trading? Where did the connection from the Bible for you come into? Well, that came from a. This is 1-to-1 is what I'm shooting for on almost every strategy, but Forrest. Forrest, it fluctuates. The only one thing I don't like about Forrest is that the risk to reward is in flux, because you are setting your entries and stops based on specific chart areas. All right, the question: what made me get into trading? I have been interested in the stock market since I was in the 6th grade, and in this state, at least Mississippi, 6th graders participate in what's called the stock market game. Got the bug there, started watching something else no one's going to get the reference to. Louis Rukeyser's Wall Street on PBS on Friday nights. He had the bug. And then I've always had it in my head. It's something I enjoy doing. Finally got, long story, pack-ups in the book. My dad died in 2016. He was my biggest fan. That sort of gave me I had been trading off and on and had quit for a while because I was struggling, because it was all up in here. And then decided to get serious in my own strength, right? Against Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which is trust in the Lord and with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I was trading in my own understanding, was having a rough time of it. And then one day I had a conversation with God driving to work one day that I did not enjoy. And I had my Nebuchadnezzar moment, right? He knocked me off my pedestal. Fortunately, did not put me out back with the cows eating grass. But he did force me to stop trading until I went from head knowledge to heart knowledge, until I redirected why I was doing what I was doing and for whom. And ever since then, my goal has been Matthew 5:16, which says that, and the minute I say Matthew 5:16, the entire verse flew out of my head. Give me 1 second. It is hang on. Oh, let your light. I'm old, guys. Let your light so shine before men that they see your good works and give glory to the Father. So every day, my goal is to trade in a way that honors God and serves my family, serves those around me, serves my community. But the upside to the biblical element of it is that everything that I have ever learned that made me a better trader came from the Bible. Things like how to set my stop loss, where to put my take profit, those kinds of specific details I found in the pages of God's word. God says, if you search for me, you will find me if you search for me with all your heart. And so I did. YouTube doesn't like it. I got this channel has been banned. We got deleted from YouTube one Saturday night about 3 months ago because we were mixing religion and finance, and they didn't like that. And I mentioned the First Amendment, and we got our channel back with about an hour later after an appeal. But anyway, everything that I do is to point people to say that this is the world's best trading manual. And if you want to be a better trader, the answers are in here. So with that, guys, thank you all for being here. Today's what? It's Wednesday. I'll be back every day this week. Ideally, I won't be driving on Friday. So with that, I will see you all tomorrow.